We remember even when he first came home, if any sports came across the TV, he was just, we need to stop. We need to watch the sports. Mm-hmm. So he's now into wheelchair basketball and just absolutely loves it. We're Holly and Ben Kladder. We live in Ada, Michigan. Mm-hmm. We have 5 adopted kids.
So our oldest is Barakat. She's 22 and was adopted from Ethiopia when she was 6 years old. Then we have Ellie, who is 18, adopted from South Korea when she was 6 months old in 2006. Then Ezra is 13, and he was adopted from Michigan, a domestic infant adoption. 1 day old. He was our only newborn adoption. Then Shubin, who is currently 12, was adopted from China in 2014, and she was 2.5 at the time of adoption. And then finally, Fushi is our caboose, and he was adopted from China in 2018 at the age of 6.5. When we first heard about Show Hope through our social worker when we were adopting through Bethany Christian Services, at that time I was a stay-at-home mom. We had already adopted 1 child. And so we applied for the adoption aid grant, and we were gifted a grant in 2008 for Barakat, and it was such a relief. And then Show Hope actually came and walked beside us for our next 3 adoptions as well. So 4 out of our 5 children were adopted with the help of a Show Hope adoption aid grant.
Fushi, the first couple of years after he came home, he was really struggling with reading, especially reading, writing. Math was an issue, and we had just really fought to advocate for him for the education and resources that he needed, but it was just a struggle. Mm-hmm. And we could see it. It was really affecting him emotionally and mentally. He was getting sad. He was kind of disengaging, where he would just love basketball and sports. He was giving up. Giving up on sports, giving up on the things that he loved, because it was just so hard for him to be in a setting where he was trying so hard and could not keep up.
I remember hearing about vision therapy from 2 different friends. 2 different friends recommended it to me and said, hey, this made a world of a difference for my kid. You need to check this out. We went to the initial appointment. We paid for the initial exam, where they told us, this is what's going on with your son's vision. When, he's not tracking properly, and he's not able to make the switch from focusing from near to far quick enough. So this is why at school, when he's trying to copy off the board, it's just a mess, because he can't, by the time he's refocused on his paper, he can't remember what he was trying to write. And then with the dyslexia, what was written on the board wasn't making any sense to him anyway. It didn't mean anything. It was just basically chicken scratch up there, which then translated to chicken scratch on his paper. And so they said, a lot of times insurance doesn't cover this, but we'll check and see if yours will. And then they came back and said, nope, it's all out of pocket. And that was just $8,000 we didn't have. But I had remembered hearing about the Show Hope medical grant, and I thought, okay, you know what? Show Hope has helped us so much in the past. Are we going to really ask Show Hope to do this again? A few weeks into the process, I got an email saying, hey, are there any other needs that Fushi has, whether you have medical debt that you are trying to pay off, or whether you anticipate something in the near future that you're going to need? Is there anything else? So I had a quote, and I said, this is a quote for a sports chair. It's technically not a medical necessity, but how do you put a value on quality of life and just what sports has done for him is just, you can't put a price on that, like how important it is to his well-being. So I sent along the quote to the chair, and a couple of weeks later, got an email back, and they said, congratulations, Show Hope is going to help you pay for vision therapy and a new sports chair.
Plugging both of those things in together through the assistance with the vision therapy, his scores, where they were declining, or the rest of his peers were, just kind of leaving him behind. After vision therapy, there was a notable significant increase in his scores where he was growing by leaps and bounds, and he was starting to be able to keep up at school. And we almost instantly noticed just an overall change in his attitude, how he had been disengaging from life and feeling like he wanted to give up. He was kind of re-engaging. His self-esteem had improved. And, right alongside of that was the piece of the sports chair, being able to get plugged into a wheelchair basketball program. It's integrated all together, and it's just made a huge difference for him as a person, his outlook on life, quality of life. I mean, it's day and night difference from where it was a couple years ago.
If we could measure and put a price on the impact that these kinds of grants have had on our family and on our son's life, like I don't know how we would even put a value on it.